Hi, I'm Andrea. Thanks for joining me for this 30-minute yoga practice. I think sometimes we think about yoga as being um, some sort of flexibility that's like being a pretzel, right? We think that people that are super flexible in their muscles are good at yoga, but I think the real ultimate flexibility in yoga is the flexibility of our mind, a willingness to see things a little bit differently, to listen, to learn. They're actually doing construction right now, and in these live classes, that's kind of perfect because we're going to have to be a bit flexible if we happen to hear something going on. Even when I take people on retreats into beautiful paradise places, there are loud monkeys or the wind or something that comes up and asks us to be flexible with what's in front of us right now. Now, if you have a mat, that's great. If you don't, be flexible enough to just use a carpeted floor. I'm going to suggest a chair. You can also use the wall, be flexible. And a couple of tall blocks, something in case padding is helpful, like a folded blanket from your couch or a big folded bath towel. And then once you have those things, start in our Tadasana, so just laying the groundwork, the bedrock pose of all poses, and the flexibility, the bendiness to be where we are right now, to stop the distractions as best we can and to crawl into our breath in and out through your nose. Slow things down. Be willing to take your time. Bend away from the rush, the crazy swiping and rushing, and be here now. If you can, it's hips over heels. We're not tucking our pelvis or arching into our back. Turn your palms away from each other at the shoulder and align shoulders over hips over heels, and then just lean back enough that you can sense ears over shoulders, over hips over heels. Feel this gorgeous posture. Remember it and find either your wall, or as I'm going to do, the back of your chair. So you will leave your mountain for a moment and either find your hands about the height of your hip on the back of your chair or on your wall. Stand with your feet hip distance. Give yourself a little bit of space. And then keeping your hands on the wall, stand on your right leg and begin to extend your left leg behind you, but keep that beautiful posture. So we're not collapsed down. We really don't want our head to be underneath our hips at any point in this practice. You're welcome to bend your right knee a bit so you feel the muscles turn on. And then lastly, feel your low belly lift and be flexible about doing something a little bit different at the very beginning of a practice. It's different, the pose called puppy dog, but it's also very similar in that we're looking to create our mountain pose just with a few different things going on. There's some physical flexibility happening. It might be the mental flexibility that's most challenging. And then place your left foot hip distance and come standing in Tadasana, just a little detour to remind us. We want to have ears over shoulders, over hips, over heels. And we'll switch sides. Stand on your left leg, take your hands to the base of your chair or onto your wall, and then start to extend your right leg behind you. Be slow, remember, we're slowing things down, we're not in a rush. Bend your left knee if it's helpful. We're not collapsing, we don't want our head to be lower than our hips. You're just sussing it out, just experimenting. You're being flexible as you give it a shot. And then you fill it with your breath. In and out through your nose. See if we can't stay for another 3 moments here. If it's too much, you can always take your right foot next to your left foot before I mention it. Great, really good. Right foot hip distance from left foot. Hands onto your thighs. Now with your hands on your thighs and a hinge at the hip, so we're not rounding in our back. Extend your heart even further forward. Let there be a little bit of a deepening of the hip hinge, and then arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, a V shape, standing with your legs straight like a mountain. And then mountain pose, turn your palms away from each other. Situate your chair so that the base of your chair is facing you. It's possible that some of you will do this next thing with your blocks tall. So if you want to, you can situate your blocks on either side of your mat. Hip distance with your feet facing the base of your chair with your blocks, just in case. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky of V shape. Exhale, hinge at the hips and take your hands to your thighs like we just did a moment ago. Inhale your heart forward using your hands on your thighs. Exhale a little bit more, hinge at the hips. And then inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky of V shape, and stand into your mountain. Again, inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky of V shape. Hinge at your hips, hands onto your thighs. Inhale your heart forward, a little bit different this time. Hands to the base of your chair, and then just step back a little bit like our puppy dog, but we're still not letting our head get lower than our hips. So it's a little bit of a downward facing dog, and there is flexibility that you're going to feel in the positioning of your body, flexibility down the backs of your legs. And then walk your feet forward, hip distance, hands to your thighs. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Inhale, arms out to the side and thumbs to the sky for a V shape, and then stand into your mountain. We'll do one more of those using the base of our chair. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky of V shape. Exhale, hinge at your hips, hands to your thighs. Inhale, grow tall out the crown of your head. And then place your hands on the base of your chair and go carefully. Just experiment. A little tiny step back where you get a little bit more oomph in the arms. It's still a hip hinge. We're not rounding. Our head is not lower than our hips. Try it on for size. Breathe into this new experience. Let that bendiness of mind be really intriguing. And then walk yourself back forward, hip distance, hands to thighs. Inhale, grow the tallest you've been yet. Exhale, hinge at your hips. And then inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky in a V shape. Pause in the elegance of your mountain. Now, this is where some of you might introduce the tall blocks I'm going to show you with the base of your chair and with the option to use your tall blocks. Standing in your mountain, inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky of V shape. Hip hinge, hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Now, either with your hands on the base of your chair, or perhaps your hands carefully placed on tall blocks, step your left foot back for a lunge. Our knee's going to stay off the ground. So right foot is forward. Left foot is back. If this becomes too much, you can always put the back knee down, and that's where our folded blanket might come in handy. Now think a moment ago when we had our hands on the base of our chair, we were finding our mountain pose. And even when we did puppy dog, we were finding our mountain pose. That's true of your spine here. Allow your right hip to draw back and your left hip to draw forward. Keep the hip hinge and your breath steady. 2 more moments just like this. Now, I want you to remember that we're not going to dip our head lower than our hips, right? Super slowly press into your right big toe mound and let that leg begin to make its way towards straight. For most of us, it's not going to get all the way straight. And think of your puppy dog with your chest forward. You can also use your hands on the base of your chair, which feels a little bit like when we did our sun salutation with the hands on the base of the chair a moment ago. As you're straightening that right leg a little bit, or maybe quite a bit, right hip draws back, left hip is drawing forward. We're breathing into some flexibility in the back of our right leg for sure, but also the flexibility of staying put here. And maybe a little bit of discomfort, certainly not pain. So that's the distinguishing factor. Never endure sharp pain. A little rumble of something happening. Now rebend your front knee. Either hands stay at the base of your chair or they come to your blocks. And then left foot steps hip distance from right foot. Inhale your heart forward. And exhale, increase just slightly. We hinge at the hip. Inhale, arms out to the side. Thumbs to the sky, a V shape, and then stand into your mountain. Second side, inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and hands on your thighs. Inhale, grow long through your spine. Use your hands on your thighs to really feel that so that we can translate it as we take our hands onto the base of the chair or onto your tall blocks. Now your right foot steps back. You're on the ball of your back foot unless you opt to put the back knee down, which is fine, but we have the longest, strongest spines. The left hip is drawing back and the right hip is drawing forward. Your left heel is stamping into the ground. We just want to make sure that's solid. If we put too much emphasis into the toe part of your foot, that can be a little bit more risky for your knee. And then just think of when you had your puppy dog hands on the back of your chair. You can always have your hands on the base of your chair here too. Hang out for just a couple more moments with me. This whole yoga practice is a movement meditation. Can you kind of taste the meditation in it here? Now, either with your hands on your chair or on those tall blocks, start to straighten your front leg. Go slow and press now into that left big toe mound. So unlike when our knee was bent, we wanted the emphasis in the heel. We like it to move into the ball of the foot so that those muscles at the front of your left leg are called to action, called the quadricep muscles. Left hip is drawing back, right hip is drawing forward. We're so long and tall in our spine, and nobody's head is lower than their hips. It's not the idea of it here. It doesn't matter if your left leg ever gets straight. It's the flexibility about being on the journey, meeting ourselves where we are right now, not scolding ourselves for not getting the leg all the way straight or all the other things that we can sometimes slip into, celebrating what is. 3 moments of celebration and meditation here. So great. Now begin to bend your left knee. Step your right foot hip distance. Hands to thighs. Inhale. grow tall. Exhale, increase the hinge of the hip just a smidge, and then arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, and we stand into our mountain. We add a little twist here. I mean that actually quite literally. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, and then hands onto your thighs. Hinge at the hips as you fold. Inhale your heart forward, hands on the base of your chair or hands to your blocks. Again, we'll step left foot back into a lunge. Get situated. Sometimes sideways space is helpful, especially as we add this next bit. So you could step your right foot a little bit to the right. Remember that if you'd prefer, your knee can come down onto the ground. Left hand stays either on your block or on the base of your chair, and then take your right hand onto your hip and ever so gently turn to your right. This is going to be probably enough for most of us. With your hand on your hip, you can remember it doesn't want to swing out to the side. Convince it to draw back, and you'll notice that's very helpful for your balance and for the length of your spine. Maybe arm out to the side, thumb to the sky. I think it's kind of fun to keep the hand there and feel your own machinery. Do be careful not to scrunch shoulders into ears. And even though we're twisting, we're still breathing. Last couple moments here. Really great. Now unwind and bring your hands either to the base of your chair or to your tall blocks, and very slowly straighten that front leg. A little different than last time. Turn your back foot flat on its side and maybe hop it a little bit to your left. So it's a pyramid pose. We're still not letting our head get lower than our hips. Super, super important. So this is a little bit stickier, but it's also a little bit sturdier, so that if you want to, and this is not mandatory, you can take your hand onto the base of your chair or that tall block, your right hand onto your hip, and add the tiniest careful twist. Your right hand on your hip reminds it to stay moving back, not swinging out to the side. And we're not trying to be pretzels, remember, from the beginning of the practice. We're just seeing if we can bend our minds a little bit into a new direction. Last couple of moments, just like that. Now unwind your hands to your blocks or the base of your chair. Spin on your back toes. Bend your right knee and step your left foot hip distance from your right. Hands onto your thighs. Inhale your heart forward. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky in a V shape. And then stand into your mountain for a moment. Side two. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips, hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward, either hands on the base of your chair or they come to your tall blocks. And now your right foot carefully steps back. If you prefer the knee down, you can do that. Left foot might want to step to the left a little bit. Find your sturdiness here. And then right hand can stay on your block or on the base of your chair. Left hand onto your left hip. Feel the left hip draw back. And just gently turn your chest to the left. It's playful. You're certainly not forcing anything. And it's never sharp pain. If there's a rumble of something happening, that's okay, but sharp pain is not part of our practice. So be mindful that way. 2 more moments, just like this. Now unwind your hand to the base of your chair, or now both hands are on your blocks. This is where we slowly straighten the front leg and the back foot turns flat on its side at about a 45-degree angle. I like a little more sideways space, so you can heel toe your left foot to the left and then keep your right hand on the base of your chair or on your tall block. Left hand on your hip with a straight leg or somewhat straight leg. Keep that left hip drawing back. And it's the tiniest little turn. A little teeny tiny turn towards the left. You're still breathing. You're willing to bend a little to the left, but not forcefully. 2 more moments, just as we are. Now very gently unwind both hands either to the base of your chair or the hands come to the tall blocks. Do this part slowly. The dismount is just as important as the time in the pose. Spin onto your right toes and step your right foot hip distance from your left foot. Inhale, hands to thighs, heart extends. Exhale, increase the hinge at the hip just a little. And then inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, a V shape overhead. Stand in your mountain and feel how different you feel now than before the practice. A little bend in the road, right? A little flexibility goes a long way. Making our way down to the ground and using our props to get there. Inhale, arms out to the side, thumbs to the sky, V shape. Exhale, hinge at the hips and take your hands to your thighs. Inhale your heart forward, keep it forward, either hands on the base of your chair or to your blocks. And then we'll come seated. Move anything out of the way that you don't need right now. So the chair, actually keep your chair nearby because we may use your chair. And you might even use your blocks. So I lied. You're not going to move your props out to the side. But you might move a prop in, which is your folded blanket. Cross-legged seat. I really like to prop myself up. That way, that beautiful, long, tall spine that we've been finding can find me here. So cross so that it's not just crossed at the ankles, but so that you have a feeling of your knees and ankles in a more tight cross. That way, the flexibility in your hips is going to be felt a little bit more. Your knees won't feel it quite so much. And then with your chair base or your 2 blocks, find that length through your spine. So hands resting on the block or on the base of your chair, just like not so long ago when we did a puppy dog, when we did a sun salutation with our hands here, and even a lunge, what's called a pyramid pose, and a few twists. Stay with it here. Maybe close your eyes. A couple of moments. Now, keep your right hand on the base of your chair and just weave your left arm so that the back of your hand is on the small of your back. Ever so gently, turn a little bit towards your left. Like our twist that we did in our lunge and in our pyramid pose, we're still tall in our gorgeous mountain posture. Even though you're twisting, you're still breathing. 2 moments here. Unwind, place your left hand on the base of your chair. It could be that some of you are using your tall blocks. Right hand behind your back, base or back of the right hand onto the base of your spine. And then just the easiest, gentlest little twist over to the right. Keep breathing. And I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a buzzsaw that I'm hearing. And I'm just going to be flexible about that happening as we shoot live classes. I hope you'll join me in the flexibility there. Last couple moments here. And then unwind and notice which of your shins is crossed in front. we will become flexible with the other shin in front. So this is probably our favorite. That's why we go to it first. Just lean back. If you want a little waggle of your legs out in front of you, you can do it. And remember, we've got a little bit of a tighter cross just so that we can bring it into the hip flexibility. And then speaking of being flexible, we're going to let this side be more of a seated meditation. Let's find our posture with our hands on the base of our chair. It's just so helpful. And it's really been a theme through our whole practice. And then keep that length in your spine and either palms up or down in your lap. If you're willing, close your eyes. If that's uncomfortable, just look down. I'm going to be silent for 2 whole minutes. See if you can find the bendability to just be instead of that feeling of needing to do something. Ready? 2 minutes, starting right now. One minute down, you're doing great. Come back to your breath in this last little stretch of our meditation seated. Remember inhaling and exhaling through the nose and slowing things down. Couple of options. Feel free to stay seated here. Drink in your deep breath. Continue your meditation. Or make it our final Shavasana meditation. This time I actually do mean moving your props if you're going to go into the final Shavasana meditation. You'll come off of your blanket, place your feet hip distance, and lie down on your back. I'm going to stay with the seated meditation. Settle into your final Shavasana, whether that's seated or lying. And invite the stillness, step in the stillness to seal our practice. 2 minutes here. If you're in your Shavasana, you're welcome to stay there as long as you'd like. You can stretch in opposite directions and carefully draw your knees in your chest. Roll to one side. Slowly make your way to a cross-legged seat, maybe, where those of us who sat and meditated cross-legged are. And then just take a moment to thank yourself for practicing and for being bendy enough to try. All we can do is the best we can do. And I thank you for practicing with me today, for being bendy in so many different ways, including some long, silent sits. I look forward to us practicing again together soon. I'm Andrea. Namaste.